When intuition is leading us, it's often something that is illogical. It doesn't make sense on paper, but somehow there's a knowing that it's going to be for our expansion and our good. Intuition often feels like the voice of God saying, you can do this. Take the risk. Go. I believe in you. Okay, I want you to imagine that I invited you over and you're my bestie and we're sitting on the couch and I'm like, girl, let me tell you what I'm doing today. You guys, I have been in a season of transformation. I keep talking about that, I know, but I'm at this moment where I'm saying, Kelly, you've got to choose. Like, we've got to choose where we're going with our energy. And I want to tell you about something I'm doing today that maybe you can even do too if you're someone who's seeking clarity. So since 2020, I've been building an online business. I've been building courses and programs and retreats and just really doing the online marketing business. And it's brought me so much fulfillment and I've got so much skill set there. Yeah, I even built out a coaching certification that I love. Like, there's so many things that I love that I've built. But if I'm being honest, you guys, over the past few years, as I've been in this transformational energy, every time I put out a program, it feels not super supported by God. Not that I feel like I'm going against God, but I actually know what it feels like to be supernaturally supported by God. Like, there's when you are being your authentic self, you feel magnetic. You're like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. I was just being myself. People are coming out of nowhere. They sign up for your programs. They're responding to the episodes you're putting out. They're responding to your comments. They're responding to the posts that you're putting out. Like, there's feedback from the universe that happens when you are in alignment. Y'all, I have been getting crickets. And I just need to be honest about that. And so I've been sitting with it being like, okay, God, do I need to take that feedback as information? Do I need to just step away from my online business? Do I need to stop putting my energy in the online program space and put it into 100% completely into the other vision that God has been slowly giving Josh and I? And that makes me feel afraid because I have no sense of security in this other vision. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know how we're going to be successful. I don't know. I don't feel a sense of certainty over there, but I also don't feel a sense of supernatural support continuing to do what I've been doing online because it feels like God is just like drying it up. I don't know if you guys know what that feels like, but you're like, it is not getting the feedback. It is not getting the response. And it's not because I'm not even hustling. I'm like hearing God, like this makes sense. I should bring this offer. This is the next thing. I've been following what I feel like God is telling me to do. But when there's not the feedback, that is information that it's like not getting the supernatural support that I know it should be getting if I am in my calling and in alignment. So before I tell you this experiment that I'm doing, I want to tell you about the difference between ego and intuition. Because when we are making decisions, we have to know the two different voices and the two different communication systems that are happening within our body guiding us at every time. So first, let's talk about the ego. Your ego is a voice. Your ego is the mind, the communication that's happening. Your ego is leading you. You know it's your ego when it's based on past history. Ego is always an energy. So when you hear a voice talking to you, if it comes in the energy of fear, if it speaks in the things that you should do, you have to do, you must do. If you imagine a scenario and it feels constricting, it feels like pressure, it feels like obligation, this is your ego. And it can also feel logical, by the way. It's like, this is the logical thing I should do. That is your ego. Now we have something called intuition. Intuition is always an energy of love. Our intuition is a voice that's happening in our head that is guidance that is leading us towards the expansion of ourselves. So when we think about things, we might feel as butterflies in our stomach, but it's the energy of like anticipation rather than anxiety, right? When it's intuition, whatever we're heading towards feels like it's for our good. When intuition is leading us, it's often something that is illogical. It doesn't make sense on paper, but somehow there's a knowing that it's going to be for our expansion and our good. Intuition often feels like the voice of God saying, you can do this, take the risk, go, I believe in you, right? Like, let's see what's on the other side. So if you're ever wondering which voice is telling you what to do, I want you to first look at the energy behind it. Because if there's a fear energy that feels constricting, should, have to, must, obligation, it's logical, that's your ego. It is just trying to keep you safe. And it's working with history and the things that you've done in the past, and it wants to be predictable. That's your ego. It will never, ever guide you towards the thing that your soul wants to do. Its job is just to keep you safe. Now, intuition, always, if you hear a voice in your head, you go, what's the energy behind it? It kind of feels like love. It kind of feels like it's believing in me. It kind of feels expansive. It kind of feels illogical. It doesn't make sense, but there's like an energy of like, for my good. That's your intuition. So I want to tell you about my vision that I'm playing with today. There's a version of me that could walk away from every online course I've ever built and just say, that season is over. And so today I decided to imagine that I walk away from everything except for one-on-one coaching, that I walk into a new reality where I start taking all my skill sets and I start growing Josh and my dream, which is to have our own business. We have this secret dream of building experiential hospitality, building beautiful spaces, curated, designed with intention, set in nature, that allow people, makes me feel emotional, oh my gosh, that allow people to step out of their reality and step into a curated experience that allows them to hear their inner truth, that allows them to reconnect with the voice of God, that allows them to hear their own voice inside, that allows them to heal, that allows them to feel a sense of peace, that allows them to feel inspired, that allows them to be around beauty and creativity. Josh and my life have changed in those environments. We almost couldn't believe over the last few years when we traveled certain places in these curated, beautiful, inspiring, intentional spaces, how big and loud the voice of God was for us. And then we would come home to our reality and it was like we couldn't hear as clearly. And we've had this vision of creating those spaces for people to go to make those accessible for people to go on personal retreats or group retreats and experience that for themselves. And so today I woke up and decided to imagine that I closed the door to KBCO, that the only way to work with me is if you're a one-on-one private mentorship client, that all of my proactive online energy now is going to building Josh and my vision, to imagine that I'm going to use my skill sets now to share about this big adventure unfolding for us, to start sharing about the things that are moving me forward in my life now, like homeschooling my kids and conscious parenting and how I'm learning to heal post being ambitious achiever, to imagine taking you all on the journey and creating these spaces that people want to be a part of. Like today, I am living in the reality that KBCO is closed. And what I'm doing is I am allowing that to be a lived experience today to see how it feels. Because peace is the signal that you are living in truth. And if I feel a sense of peace, that this is where I'm going and this is what I'm doing now, then I'll know that it's where I need to go. And at the time of this recording, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. And if I'm being honest, I'm sure you intuitive, beautiful beings, you've probably already caught the vibe. I feel really happy about this reality. It doesn't feel like what I should do or what I'm supposed to do or what I have to do. It feels like the illogical, like, what am I doing? But oh my gosh, what could God do here? Reality. It feels like intuition. And I'm going to be honest, I'm like recognizing this in real time as we're recording. And it feels genuinely scary because the logical part of me is like, how are we going to make money? How are we going to provide for our kids? We've never done this before. How are we going to be successful? I've never even nailed things together to make even a garden box. How do I think I'm going to be a part of building projects? And so I want to be honest about what I'm experiencing as I live in this decision today, that I feel scared and that it feels like it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, it feels expansive. It feels like love. It feels like there's possibilities. It feels like, oh my gosh, what could we do? What could we be a part of? It feels like limitlessness. And I haven't felt that way in a really long time. It feels like I've continued to take KB Co, this online coaching business, and I've just continued to make it be what I should be doing because I've spent my time and energy there building it. I did not know when I recorded this that I would be having a, revelation while I was doing it. But here we are. I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready to wake up every single day and love what I'm learning and love what I'm a part of and be in the awe and inspiring flow of something new God's creating. And I think I just experienced my confirmation. Whew. Well, we shall see where this goes, y'all. But I want to invite you to do the same activity. If you are thinking about a new possibility, I would invite you to try each of your possibilities on for a day, a whole day. Pretend you made the decision. Because when we're deciding back and forth, our energy is split. It's like windshield wiper going back and forth. But when you go, I chose to stay in KBCO. I chose it. I'm going to move forward. What does it feel like? Let me feel it all day. And then next day, okay, I'm choosing to go this totally other route and it looks like this. How does it feel? And find the information in your body. Feel into ego, feel into intuition, follow the signs, and see what shows up for you. I invite you guys to take this personal experiment too. I don't know where this takes us, but I think I just kind of made a decision and I don't really know what to do about that. But I thank you for being my friends and holding space for me. And I'm sure by the time this airs, I'll have made some decisions and conclusions and announcements. I don't know. But what I know is it feels like home right now. It feels really exciting. And I'm ready to feel excited about reality again. So let me know if this episode hit home for you. Thank you for being my friend and sitting on my couch and listening to me and talking to me. And I pray that you'll journey with Josh and I as we go into a new chapter together, as we figure totally new things out. I'm sure I'll talk about them here. So I hope you'll keep joining me. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I pray this was a deposit for you today.